What's up, Archons? I'm Flightless Pheasant, and today I've actually got a 2-for-1 or maybe a 3-for-1 announcement for you guys. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I want to go over before the Gamefound launch tomorrow. If you're free, I will be live streaming as soon as the Gamefound goes live. I'll actually try to start the stream a little bit before, because last time I had a little bit of technical difficulties and it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. So hopefully I'll start it a little bit before, but that'll be 11 a.m. East Coast time, 10 a.m. Central, that I'll be doing that stream. So join me for that if you've got the time and the interest. And we'll go through all of the pledge tiers and all of the add-ons and all of the pledge bonuses, the pledge bonus ranks, because it won't tell us what we actually get. But we'll get to see what the ranks are. And we'll go through all of that together. And I think that'll be a good time. But in the meantime, some announcements from Ghost Galaxy. I was actually expecting these announcements a lot sooner, because I thought they probably had these all written up during KFC, but it took a minute to get them out, but that's all right. So we're going to start with the deck clones and accolades. So let's take a look at this article. This is over on the Keyforging website, as always, link at the top, or URL at the top. We at Ghost Galaxy announced over a year ago plans to allow deck owners to purchase a copy of their registered deck. This idea was spawned from discussions around some of the challenges with a unique deck game, and made possible by tracking Master Vault deck ownership, something that was implemented in the summer of 23. Yes, they've been talking about this for over a year now, that this is something that they wanted to do. And it's on. It works. Spoiler alert, you can get deck clones, like right now. You can buy them on the Master Vault. But I want to go through the article and see how they phrase it, and see if there's anything worth talking about in it. So let's take a look. I haven't read this article yet. Keyforge relies on decks being unique and whole in order to be used in official tournaments. A deck missing a card or damaged beyond usability means the deck is rendered useless, as replacing a single card would not work. In addition, many players have begun to collect decks in foreign languages. As each Keyforge deck is unique, some desirable decks may be originally born into a language different from yours, making both competitive and casual play cumbersome for players and judges. Yeah, that is an ongoing issue, but hopefully it's about to get alleviated considerably by deck clones. The idea was as follows. Being able to make a copy would help owners who've seen a card damaged, destroyed, or even lost. Such a deck copy could be used for both casual and official events. What's more, such copies could even be produced in a different language or languages when available. Well, that idea is now finally made a reality. A lot of little grammar mistakes in there, but we get the thrust. All right. So let's read on. We're happy to share that deck clones are now available to order on your Master Vault account. Be sure to check out the deck clone details page here for more information. Ooh. I haven't been to that page. Okay, we'll go over this page. We'll go over the deck clone page after we finish this, because that actually does look like it's really interesting. So, yeah, you can get deck clones from your Master Vault. Do it. If you want, you don't have to. I think they're like $25 plus shipping. So, it's a little pricey, but worth it if you have a really good competitive deck that you want. But there's more. When acquiring a deck clone, some decks may optionally be printed with special Accolade badges. Accolades are awarded to decks that perform at highest level in tough competition and has received some other form of special acknowledgement. This means Vault Tour, National, Open Tournament, and World Championship winners will see a special Accolade badge appear on their deck's Master Vault page when they're being viewed. Decks participating in the World Championship Tournament will also receive a special Contender badge. Okay, so it's for winning Vault Tours, Nationals, Open Tournaments, and World Championships. Those are great things to do if you can do it. As we all know, my tournament record is not that good. But apparently I'm working my way up, so maybe someday. Players who own a deck with accolades can choose to display up to 3 accolades on a deck clone when being purchased. Find all the details on the deck accolades page here. Oh my goodness, we've got so much to go over, you guys. News coming out of our ears. Well, let's pop over to the deck clones page and see what it says over here. Oh, but before we do, though, before that, hold on. This card, example of a deck clone with deck accolades badge, this card is so confusing. That's the wrong house for this card name. That's the wrong art. I don't know if that's the right power and armor. might be, but it's definitely the wrong traits, and that's not... I don't think that might be what Grey Augur does, but I don't think so. This is a confusing card. I guess it's supposed to be? I don't know, but like... Whoa, that was a lot to look at, and I was like, I don't know what's going on there. All right, let's go over to the deck clones page. I have not looked at this page at all. Fully blind going into this one, so let's take a look. What is a deck clone? We'll start on the what is a deck clone side. We'll do the stripe at the end. One of the things that makes Keyforge special is the fact that every deck is 100% unique. However, there are times when that uniqueness may be an issue for players. For example, as a player, you may have encountered the following. My original deck is lost or stolen. A few cards in my deck are damaged or lost. My deck is precious, and I don't want it getting damaged when playing. I'd like several copies of this deck to play with my family. I love this deck, but it's in a foreign language. To address these issues, Ghost Galaxy has made it possible for deck owners, see sidebar, to acquire a deck clone of their unique deck. A deck clone is essentially a functional copy of the deck with several distinct attributes differing from the original. All right, let's finish this block, and then we'll go over and look at the thing. Physical differences. Deck clones vary from their original deck in several ways. For example, the card back of clone decks has several differences as detailed below. The back color of clone decks is that blue-green color. Yep, that's going to be the case for all of them. The back of clone cards are printed with the clone avatar. It'll always be this avatar, so they'll all have the same one. The back of cloned cards are frameless. Okay, fair enough. And the backs of all clone cards are printed with the name, house symbol, and token creature, if any, of the original deck. Yep, that's good. Also, the front of each clone card will have the clone marking near the title card. Boop-a-boo, right there. Which is kind of nice. I don't know if that... I mean, it just means that you can't mix clone cards with not clone cards without it being obvious. Or at least obvious enough that if somebody's looking for it, they can find it. Lastly, deck clones will not retain any special border treatments. No Savior of Keyforge, Awakenings, or Foresight decks. These are reserved for original decks only. You know what? That's fair. That's totally fair. I like the border treatments. I think they're really, really cool. But yeah, keeping that to the original deck is totally reasonable. And I imagine it would have been a logistical nightmare to do it any other way. Okay, let's look over ownership so that we know how that works. Each Keyforge deck comes with a unique ID, which may be found on the deck's list card. This right here is the ID. That little bit right there. The code is printed both on the card and is embedded in the card's QR code. Yep, that as well. After a deck is purchased, the owner may register the deck to their account in the Keyforge Master Vault. In doing so, the owner claims Master Vault ownership of that deck, which allows that player to use the deck in official Keyforge tournaments and to make deck copies of the deck. Learn more about deck ownership here. Oh gosh. Guys, so much information. All right, we're going to go through it all, though. We're going to go through it all. It's all good stuff. Deck clones in official tournaments. Deck clones are legal in official Keyforge tournaments, subject to the following limitations. Only the Master Vault owner of the original deck may use its clone in official tournaments, i.e., a player's Master Vault friends are not eligible to use the player's deck clones in official tournaments. So if you're going to play a clone, you have to play it yourself. Only one instance, clone or original, of a Keyforge deck may be played in an official tournament. Can't give the original to your friend and play the clone yourself. One instance of the deck. Keyforge tournament rules and guidelines are subject to occasional updates and revisions. Please be sure to check the most recent tournament guidelines located here. Those haven't updated. We're going to skip reading that. Clone deck language selection. When the Master Vault has the necessary information to produce a clone in a given language, that language will appear in the Select Language drop-down field when purchasing a deck clone. English will always be an option. Due to the transition from Keyforge from Fantasy Flight to Ghost Galaxy, we are unfortunately not able to produce non-English clones of decks from the first 5 Keyforge sets. So that's Call of the Archons, Age of Ascension, Worlds Collide, Mass Mutation, and Dark Tidings. I did not know that, but that's a good thing to know. You cannot get a non-English clone of any of the Fantasy Flight sets. Just limitations, guys. They happen. Deck clones FAQ. This section provides to answers to other commonly asked questions about deck clones. How do I purchase a deck clone? You log into your Keyforge Master Vault account and navigate to the desired deck. Below the deck title, you'll see an Order Deck Clone section where you can purchase the deck clone. Note that this section will only appear if you have Master Vault deck ownership of that deck. Very important. Are all Keyforge sets available for deck cloning purchase? At the time this Q&A was written, all Keyforge sets except for Menagerie, Unchained, and Dark Tidings are ready for deck clones. We hope to make Dark Tiding decks available for cloning in the near future. I really also hope that they get Menagerie and Unchained, because even though those decks aren't tournament legal, it would be nice if I could replace them if they lost cards or became damaged, since that is one of the things that we want to keep in mind. All right, we're going to look at the Accolades, and then we'll go over to the Master Vault deck ownership stuff. All right, so what is a deck accolade? If a deck wins or has participated in a major tournament or has otherwise been recognized in some special way, Ghost Galaxy may award that deck an accolade represented by a special badge, a special honor badge. A deck's accolades may be found in the Keyforge Master Vault. A deck may be awarded several accolades, such as the ones provided in the example below. So you'll see on this right side here, it talks about the different types of badges. The graphical badges used to display accolades pack a lot of information into a small amount of space. For example, below is the winner of the 2023 Italian Vault Tour in the sealed format. Below is a primer for the most common Keyforge badge accolade iconography. Colors of actual badges will vary. So if it's a Vault Tour, it's going to have this symbol. If it's a World Championship, it'll have that. National Championship gets a little flag. Archon format gets the single Archon, or yeah, single forged key. Alliance format gets multiple, and sealed has a little badge, little ribbon. So yeah. Oh, and they used fraud as the example deck. That's good. All right, and then if we look a little further down, it says Alliance and Sealed Accolades. The Alliance and Sealed format tournaments are each comprised of up to 3 decks. Accolades awarded for Alliance and Sealed winners are given to each of the decks used in the tournament. Note that accolades are always awarded to all 3 winning Sealed decks, even if no pods were used from 1 or 2 of the open decks. That's nice. Accolades and deck clones. Players with Master Vault ownership of a deck that has earned 1 or more accolades may add the deck's accolade badges to any deck clone of that deck. A deck clone may feature up to 3 different selected accolades selected during deck clone purchase. Accolade badges will be printed on the front of each card in the clone deck. Learn more about clones takes us to the clone page. So yeah, you can see they print on the opposite side from the pips. And you can see it's got the little clone icon. All right, let's look at the Master Vault ownership stuff since we're already here. Master Vault Deck Ownership Primer. The most innovative and amazing feature of Keyforge is surely the fact that every deck is completely unique in the world. In order to provide deck owners with a series of services related to their unique decks, the Keyforge Master Vault will track Master Vault ownership of decks. To discover and register ownership of a deck, you will need a Master Vault account. When you register a new deck for the first time, you discover the deck and receive 1 amber in your Master Vault account. In addition, you will also be registered as the owner of that deck. Owning a deck gives you a number of benefits. See the benefits of ownership section, which we'll get to in a second. Once scanned, the deck will be visible in your My Decks view and will also be visible to any friends in the Master Vault. Ownership of decks scanned prior to May 31st of 2023, so thousands and thousands of... So they talked about this. You have to rescan a bunch of things. Thousands and thousands of users have discovered and scanned decks into the Master Vault accounts since late 2019. Such users will find a record of their older decks scanned in the Legacy Decks list in Master Vault. In order to register ownership of an already registered deck, the user in possession of the deck will need to rescan the deck to assume Master Vault ownership. Please be careful with scanning your unique deck code. If another Master Vault user is in possession of that code, they may claim ownership instead. This is very important, because your Master Vault ownership is your deck ownership as far as Ghost Galaxy is concerned. And that's totally reasonable given that they're trying to come out with all of these services based on ownership. Now, that said, deck transfers. The Master Vault enables users to transfer deck ownership to other users by use of the Deck Transfer tool. If you wish to transfer ownership of a deck to another user, navigate to the Master Vault Transfer section and follow the instructions provided. Ownership transfer of a deck requires the explicit permission of both initiating and receiving users. The initiating user will have 1 amber deducted from their account for each transfer. This is to discourage people from just spamming decks around, which I think is an important discouragement, but one that's pretty easily overcome. Warning! When purchasing a new deck, is it important that you do not share the deck code with others. The unique deck code is found on the deck found on the deck in the area indicated in the below graphic. If another player enters the unique deck code on your deck, then that player will become the Master Vault owner of the deck instead. The unique deck ID of a deck is located on the card list of the deck, both in printed and QR form. Boop, 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 right there. How to transfer ownership. I don't think that's really changed. Deck ownership benefits. I feel like a lot of this we actually went over before when this first came out. I don't think this article has actually seen a really significant update. In fact, it doesn't even mention deck clones or accolades. So I'm actually going to pretty much just skip over this one because it doesn't seem like it really matters. So yeah, a lot of good stuff, all stuff we knew was coming. And then one other thing that was yesterday is they put out a page going over all the home base retailers so that you can find out who they are and learn a little bit about them. Looking to find a local retailer with a great Keyforge community? Look no further. You found the list of the Keyforge home bases that you may soon call yours as well. The Keyforge home base is an LGS with an active Keyforge community that supports their players and Keyforge to the highest levels. In turn, Ghost Galaxy supports these stores with special care, including access to highly sought-after items, like the home base exclusive set Keyforge More Mutations. Below, you'll find a full list of home base stores. Stores may be added at a later time, so if your LGS isn't listed, encourage them to inquire by becoming the newest Keyforge home base. Which I intend to do, because my LGS is not currently a home base. We're going to fix that starting tomorrow. Different home base levels. During each Keyforge crowdfunding campaign, players may express support for their favorite local Keyforge game retailer. From the levels of support shown, we designate home base retailers into the following 4 tiers. That is Century. Retailer supports Keyforge with a player community looking to grow. Outpost. Retailer supports a regular and committed Keyforge player community. Castle. Retailer supports a substantial and avid Keyforge community. And Fortress. Retailer supports one of the largest local Keyforge player communities. There are only 3 Fortress level stores in the US. I've been through the list. I'm not going to scroll through the whole thing here, but go to the page, scroll through it, take a look, find out where they are. But there's only 3 Fortress stores, and one of them's in Michigan. And I'm very proud. Very proud. Team Visible Hand. Woo! Representation. We also have like 3 other stores in Michigan, and I'm trying to add a 4th, so who knows how that's going to go. But yeah, that was a lot, right? That was a big, big info dump. The TLDR version, you can get clones of your decks now. Those decks can have accolades if they performed really well. We have a list of all the home base retailers. And tomorrow, there's going to be a live stream. I'm going to host it. There might be others, but there's going to be mine for sure. Where we look at all of the stuff from the Prophetic Visions Gamefound that launches tomorrow. And I'm so very excited to share that time with you. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. I like talking to you guys. We did a hangout I don't know, like not even a month ago, and you guys were awesome, and we had a great time, and I can't wait to do another live stream. So yeah, look forward to it. But that was plenty enough for today, and I don't have any more. So until next time, later, Archons.